You guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. How you guys feeling? Have you recovered from that Barcelona game yet? I haven't. I still on a high from that.
And it's very cool.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that great? Just went up yesterday.
Wow.
Think Joe Biden would do this?
Denzel, Dumfries, what a player, what a man. But of course, now today we are here to talk about Hellas Verona, Inter Hellas Verona. Sorry, I know pretty much all Interisti now, probably the players as well. All the eggs are in the UCL basket, but we're still playing Serie A, guys. We're still only 3 points away from Napoli. I know, we've bottled it. I know it's. Is there really any point? Napoli really gonna drop it from here? Is Antonio Conte the serial Serie A winner? Really gonna drop this a serial league winner? But we're still right there. We can't give up. We can't give up. We just like in the Milan time, when Milan won it, we just need to keep winning our games and just hope. We're still Inter. We're still a big team. You can't just let the Serie A drop. I don't know. And it's Hellas Verona. If it was, Roma again or another big team, then I would have been, like forget about it. But now, in terms of big teams, we've only got Lazio left really, where I can see us dropping points. But apart from that, we should be getting the 3 points regardless of the formation that plays tomorrow. Hellas Verona are pretty much safe in the standings. I mean, not mathematically, and definitely they're not going to rest on their laurels, but really is between Venezia and Lecce, really, unless something crazy and catastrophic happens, where Venezia go on a mad winning streak, or Empoli as well. Parma with their recent streak, and Verona should be pretty much home and dry already, which hopefully means that they're not too crazily motivated for tomorrow's game. But we also know that is never the case, right? When a team comes to San Siro against Inter, their motivation is usually sky high. And last year's game against Hellas Verona is the perfect example of that. I saw Inter just posted this on their YouTube channel. That thumbnail, of course, of Frattesi when he was the Superman, super sub last season, saving our ass many games with the crucial goals, and got his cheeks out in that instance there with that last minute crazy goal. I still remember that game, man. One of my highlights, definitely from last season, and also one of the points where my blood pressure reached its peak. I remember I was getting ready to go to a family event, putting my suit on and tie on, and I'm just there on the side, just, oh, what a crazy, crazy game. Inter have uploaded the last 25 minutes of that if you want to get your blood pressure up again. Is it going to be a blood pressure game tomorrow again? We'll have to see. Hopefully not. Hopefully this one can be, a more manageable game. And this is the lineup for tomorrow's game, guys. As per Sky Sport Italia, the latest one, I saw some earlier ones that were less rotated. And yes, luckily, quite rightly, the latest lineup is way more rotated. It has to be. The boys against Barca put in a big shift. And of course, the one that put in the biggest shift was Henrik Mkhitaryan. Barella, those two definitely need a rest, and you can see the three centre backs there also put in a big shift. But for those midfielders, you saw Mkhitaryan had to hold Di Marco's hand for a lot of the game, to be tripling up on Yamal. Didn't quite work out, but he still had to do it all game. So fair play, and he definitely needs rest. And I'm glad that the predicted lineup has changed, because a few hours ago it did have Mkhitaryan in there. But now that Zielinski's back, surely this has to be Zielinski starting, and we need Zielinski to be back into match fitness, good shape. This is going to be useful for us. Maybe the last ever chance for Aslani. Maybe he'll get it. If we do continue qualify, if we go past Barcelona, maybe he gets other chances in throwaway games in Serie A. But this might be last chance saloon for Aslani. I mean, we've said it a lot of times this season. I think regardless of how he performs in this game, it's his time at Inter is over. Same probably for Frattesi. Maybe hopefully if he puts up more than 4 passes, that would be nice. I'd appreciate that from Fratte. If he puts up more than 4 passes, that would be good. Darmian, of course, has to give Denzel a rest. And yes, Zalewski finally starting. That is much needed. With Augusto coming in for Bastoni, definitely I would have done that to rest Bastoni. And Augusto came on as a substitute against Barca, so he's fine. De Vrij coming in for Acerbi, 100%. Bisek to continue. Surely, he's a 24-year-old. This brother surely can play some back-to-back games, even if he might be a bit tired. Like, come on, that's fine. And hopefully Pavard, fingers crossed, can be a part of the Barcelona games, although it'd be difficult. Up front, a few months ago, we would have said this is the Chuckle Brothers, but actually Arnautovic is got to a decent level now where he's actually respectable, and now Correa's back to being a Chuckle brother, a useless part of Inter's team, back to being a meme, back to being the Azado King, grill barbecue master. But has he got something left in his tank? Hellas Verona is his team. This is Tucu Correa FC. Usually this is the team that he gave us his best performance of this season when he did the goal and the assist. It was a 2 assists. Yeah, I think it was a goal and 2 assists in the Hellas Verona game. And even in the past, his debut game where he scored those 2 amazing goals where he sold us all a dream, that was Hellas Verona. And I think even after that, he's usually has a decent game against Hellas Verona. So yeah, Lautaro is out. The news just came out right now with Lautaro just before I went live, actually, that confirms his injury, an elongation of his hamstring, which means he's definitely out of this game. And I think they're probably going to try to force him into the Barcelona game. We're probably going to give him some injections for that game. It's a minor one, which is usually around, a week, 10 days minimum. But I think they'll try to force the case for the Barca game. Let's see how that goes. But definitely no part to play in this game. Hakan, by the way, is disqualified or suspended due to some thing. Let me try to explain it. So Hakan and Inzaghi, so it's kind of complicated case, which I haven't really I've not been interested in to look into too much, but essentially they spoke to members of the Curva Nord, which they, for some reason, due to some legislation, they're not allowed to do. They've had contact with them, and for that reason, they're going to be the investigations happen. They will be suspended for this game. I think Hakan in general would have need to be arrested anyway. Usually, Massimiliano Fares, Inzaghi's number 2, does a decent job. Before, what was the game where he had 100% record, and then there was one game where recently where Inzaghi was suspended, that he didn't win. So I can't remember off the top of my head now. But yeah, do we really care too much? No, not really. So yeah, I mean, regardless of that, we keep saying, or you guys in the comments keep saying, Inzaghi, the board hasn't given him a good enough squad to compete on all fronts. I think, if these guys were performing to a decent level, it would be, it's just that this is where I also put it on Inzaghi and the coaching staff. They weren't able to get the best out of these guys, or get rid of these guys, be ruthless enough, and that's on the board to get rid of these guys. But to me, this is still, as a fully rotated team, this is still a team that beats pretty much most teams in Serie A. So yeah, tomorrow, regardless of whoever comes out, I expect to win. Especially, with these guys being more fresh. We saw against Roma, we saw against Bologna, we saw against Milan. The tiredness was a big issue, but we saw also mentality-wise, the guys were just all in on Champions League. So that might be an issue again, the mentality-wise. But physically, this team should be, I don't want to see, and I'm not going to complain about any fatigue issues, because these guys are all fresh, either coming back from injuries or just, they're the backups. On the other side, we know Hellas Verona, how many times we played them and how many times they always put in, a 3-5-2 or 3-4-1-2. Players to watch out for. There were some potential players that we would want to scout, but they're both suspended. Coppola, big centre back, big tall centre back, and Gilardi, who got sent off in his last game, apparently into send scouts in that Hellas Verona game to watch him, and he got sent off, which is funny. But apart from that, these two strikers, they're decent. Suslov is a nice left-footed talent. Andre Duda, we wanted to sign him, like 10, 12 years ago, something like that, if I remember correctly. Again, decent midfielder. Chachua is a decent wing back, but apart from that, poor team. They've done very well to be safe already at this point of the season. So my compliments to Paolo Zanetti for doing a good job. But yeah, 7:45 UK time kickoff tomorrow. Of course, we're going to be watching with one eye the other kickoff for Napoli. This is a game that I have some hope in because it's Lecce, Antonio Conte's hometown. Lecce are still fighting for their lives. It's at their home, 4 p.m. Italian time kickoff. These weird afternoon time kickoffs can be tricky at times. It's going to be a hot atmosphere. Kind of a derby, you could say, southern teams. Let's see. And that could give us potentially a boost going into that game, if Napoli drop some points. So let's see how it goes. I don't expect, my prediction was that Inter would take this to a spareggio, to the playoff game. That isn't my expectation anymore, but my hope doesn't die, guys. My hope doesn't die. Just 3 points away. You could call me delusional, but just as we've bottled it, I could also see some of these Napoli players like Lukaku, like Raspadori, bottling it as well. So you guys, let me know your comments down below, your lineup opinions on the lineups. Are Napoli going to drop any points? Do you have any hope left for the Scudetto, or is it all in for the Champions League? Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. See you. There won't be a post-match live for this one, by the way. I've got some family stuff that I need to take care of, unfortunately, but I'll see you at some point for reaction. Keep a look out on the channel. Ciao ragazzi, always, Forza Inter.